Hi, I'm Sandy Combs of Masters Design Holistic Health Solutions, and I'd like to welcome you to my 2-lesson class, Heal the Cell, Heal the Body. What is detoxification and why you need it? Lesson 1 is broken down into 2 modules, but before we get started, let me share a scripture that is foundational to Masters Design and to these lessons. In the Bible, in the book of Psalms, chapter 139 and verse 14, it declares, "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." After these lessons, you are going to see in a new way how your Creator has truly made your body wonderfully. Let's jump into Module 1. So let me ask you a question. Do you think you need to detoxify? While you think about that, let me just say that we are pretty used to thinking it's all in the genes. We are who we are because of the genes we received from our parents. But you need to know that your DNA is not your destiny. Epigenetics explains that genes express themselves differently based on their location and their environment. So, for example, your heart cells are expressed differently than your brain cells because of their location, and you don't have any control over that. But they also express themselves based on their environment, and that is the part that you do have a lot of control over. Your genes are currently in a state based on your lifestyle up to this point. Our lifestyle determines how our genes are activated based on an accumulation of good and bad choices. You can turn them on and off based on those choices. Good choices turn on good genes and they turn off the bad genes. But unfortunately, bad choices, and better yet, let's call them uninformed choices, turn off your good genes and turn on the bad ones. So the first step is to get informed. Everyone has a different genetic lifetime potential. Even though you don't know what yours is, the good news is that your genes can change and your health is not solely based on random chance and the genes that you inherited. You can maximize your potential for longevity by your lifestyle choices. Your disease genes and pathways get turned on for a lot of different reasons. They get turned on by the toxic substances that you're exposed to. They get turned on because of your body's nutritional deficiencies, and they even get activated because of the stress in your life. But thank goodness, changing the environment in your body by giving care to all 3 of these areas changes the expression of your genes. Most people don't ever think about whether they should detoxify, and you are probably no different. So let me bring you some clarity on this. Your body is designed to routinely get rid of toxins through your urine, your feces, your sweat, and even your breath. But when you've taken in too many toxins, the body's detoxification systems get overworked and overwhelmed. Unfortunately, this is not the case for only a few people. Our food and our environment is so toxic that we are all like toxic buckets, just overflowing. The overflow is what usually manifests into a very unpleasant list of symptoms. However, let me caution you here. If you are someone who doesn't deal with a lot of symptoms, your toxic load may be at an unhealthy level. The damage is just happening internally in a way that is not causing an obvious symptom at this point. And what I see most often is that people have issues, but they just don't realize it because they think it's their body's normal. Let's get more specific about what a toxin is. Basically, there are several types of toxins. They come in many forms and they are everywhere. There are approximately 100,000 chemicals registered for use in the United States, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that hundreds of these chemicals exist in our bodies. They affect every system in our body, our cardiovascular system, immune, endocrine, nervous system, and reproductive systems. There are environmental toxins, and some of them are natural. But sadly, others have been intentionally and carelessly brought in. Mercury is one example of a toxin, which many of you may have in your mouths, in the fillings of your teeth. And every time you chew or drink a hot drink, a small amount of mercury leaks out and it accumulates in your body over time. You even ingest it when you eat farm-raised fish that you bought at the grocery store. And how many of you drink water? All of us, right? Lead and uranium are in our water supply. Another common toxin is radon, and it is a chemical that is in the ground that leaks into our homes. And do you clean your toilets? Formaldehyde is in disinfectants and toilet bowl cleaners and in many other products. The list is endless. We are constantly exposed to fragrances, pesticides, radiation from our cell phones and x-rays, plastics, and even the medication that we take is full of chemicals. I think you get the picture. There was a study that was conducted by the Environmental Working Group, and an average of over 200 industrial chemicals were found in the umbilical cords of newborn babies after their birth. We also have internal toxins, including ammonia, carbon dioxide, and free radicals. These are all byproducts of the daily processes of your body. Free radicals are a result of something called oxidative stress, which is caused by what I call the big three: toxins, lack of nutrients, and negative mindsets. The accumulation of all of these cause the body to break down, leaving damage to organs and tissues, and then the result is various diseases. Now let's look at our food supply. Sadly, most of our foods carry toxins. I'm going to ask you a few questions that will help you understand how much your dietary intake contributes to the amount of toxicity that your body needs to deal with. Do you or have you eaten processed foods? Do you eat non-organic fruits and vegetables? Do you eat meat that's not organic? Sure we do, right? Do you have or have you ever used artificial sweeteners? Do you drink soda? Do the foods you eat have preservatives, additives, and sweeteners added? Do you eat fast food and or eat out regularly? Do you drink coffee regularly? Do you drink alcohol? Do you drink unfiltered tap water? If the majority of your answers are yes, which they are for many people, then sadly, your diet is contributing significantly to your toxic load. Another type of toxins that we need to talk about are biotoxins. These toxins are produced by living organisms such as mold, bacteria, and parasites. I'm not going to get too detailed here, but I do think it is beneficial to have some basic knowledge in this area. Bacterial toxins are typically classified under two major categories: exotoxins and endotoxins. Exotoxins are types that are immediately released into your body. They have been used when producing things like vaccines, for example. And if you've ever known anyone to go into septic shock, they are dealing with endotoxins that are released as a result of their immune system working to kill a bacteria. Mycotoxins are another class of toxins, and they are produced by mold. Do you currently or have you ever lived in a home that is damp or has water damage? If so, then you have likely had mold exposure. It commonly grows behind walls, in bathrooms, and in ductwork. And if it is there, you need to get rid of it. Mycotoxins cannot be ignored. They make people very sick. There are many other types of biotoxins as well, but we aren't going to cover all of those today. But now we're going to jump into talking about parasites. There is actually little accurate knowledge about parasites in the United States today. The common belief is that they are contracted through exposure after going to a third world country. I hear this all the time, but that is not the truth. It is easy to contract parasites even when trying to live a healthy lifestyle. They sneak into our bodies from our food supply and our water supply. Do you have pets? Do you touch doorknobs? Have you ever walked barefoot in the grass? If so, you have parasites. Today I just wanted to touch lightly on these toxins just to give you some awareness. In Lesson 2, we will be discussing them in more depth, and I will be sharing authentic images of parasites that were excreted by me and many of my clients. I am very angry and sad about the lack of truth when it comes to these toxins that are making us all very sick. Toxins accumulate and the body dysfunctions. Almost 70% of Americans take prescription medication for some kind of issue, but no one is telling them why they have the issue in the first place. No one is telling them that detoxification is needed. Well, today, I'm telling you. Okay, this wraps up Module 1. We will move into discussing detoxes and cleanses in the next module. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in Module 2.